Welcome to Big OGGIE World. Welcome to another classic recipe from me, Big OGGIE, and you're in the Big OGGIE kitchen. My kitchen today, Kelly's not available at the moment. So, behind me, there is a rumble dumps. You may have seen the recipe for that already on the previous video, but it's looking lovely. We're going to use that today as a side dish. It can be a main dish or a side dish. We're using it as a side dish because we are going to do today savoury mince with little dumplings, herby dumplings, okay? Before we get started, let's get cracking. The ingredients will be listed below as always. I'm going to put this on. I need to get this frying. So just a little bit of oil, not much. In here I have finely chopped, okay, finely diced. Well, as good as I can do finely diced anyway. 1 large onion, 1 large carrot, and a stick of celery. I'm going to pop all this in here. It's finely chopped, like I said, because we're dealing with mince today. I love mince, I really do. It's well, it's been one of those staple bits of food I've lived with all my life, whether it be burgers or kofta or in like a kebab or cottage pie, my favourite. Today we are doing savoury mince. So in a strange way, if you think about it, when we create this, it'll be like a stew, but it'll also be like a cottage pie. We've got stew for the dumplings, but it's also got that wonderful topping, which if you've seen the Rubsy Stump video, if you haven't, go and take a look. It's potato, cabbage, onion, and a bit of cheese on top, so it's kind of almost a bit like a cottage pie, but taken apart, deconstructed, I think they call it, don't they? So let's get this small bit of vegetables done, and we'll get cracking. About 10 to 15 minutes, cut them through slowly. So forgive the slightly rushed ending to that first part of the video. There was a postman knocking at the door, and I had to go. Otherwise, you're going to stick one of those little leaflets through, and I'll never get the post for days on end. So what I said before was, get yourself your veg and chop it up really finely. There it is. Now you're going to just sweat it through, okay? So soften everything if you can. Got a little bit of oil in there. Pop a lid on it. About 10 to 12 minutes really. You don't want it to colour, you just want it to soften. So nice low heat. Check it every few minutes, take the lid off, give it a stir around. It'll be good. Once we've done that, we'll carry on. I'll be back and go and see what came in the post. Okay, so what hopefully you're seeing now is the state of the vegetables. They are now soft, and we are ready. They kind of steamed as well because of the heat, and obviously lightly fried. Next thing we do now is we get our mince. Now, we got some Morrisons, because we've been using Morrisons recently, and what I like about it is it's not crushed to a pap. If you've got Sainsbury's ones at the moment, even the Co-op, I think it's another place they're doing it now, they're really severely flat packing. You'll have to break this stuff up, alright? But you want 500 grams of minced beef. We're using a 12% fat one. You don't need a 20%, or you don't even need a 5%, but nice to have a little bit of fat in it. Fat is flavour after all. So this will break up a lot easier than the ones that are solidly flat packed, but as they say on their instructions, when you see these things from places like Sainsbury's, just keep breaking them up with a spoon. Yeah, right. So we're just going to push this all down, break it up a little bit, fry this off until it's brown. Okay, so we're basically just now going to brown your meat. Come back to me when that's done, and we'll start adding all the other tasty ingredients. It's going to be a few minutes this though. Okay, so we're not far off now. The meat is pretty much all browned. The vegetables continue to soften, which is how we want. Now, I don't know if I've said this already, but I'll say it now. Obviously we have to rush out to do the post. This is a 1-pot meal, or a 1-pan meal. So we're doing this in our saute pan because it's large enough to do what we've got to do, but also because it works on our induction hob for you to see. But if you've got an oven-proof dish, one with a lid, like those kind of casserole dishes, yeah, you can do all that. So make sure it's one that can go on a hob. Inherently, we're going to do all ours here in the big pan. I'm just going to seal the lid and cook it through on here, okay? So, let's mix that through. Right, so we're all browned. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to add 2 cloves of garlic, or in our case, because we use paste or we use the puree, 2 teaspoons. A teaspoon is a clove in this, and we always use this because it just saves mess. But if you've got any real garlic around, then just 2 cloves, okay? There we go. So, deal with that. Put that in there. Stir that in. Let it cook through for about a minute. So, that's cooked through. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of tomato puree. There we go. Actually, just rinse that in that. Every bit out, why not? And also, get a top on top. 125 mils, well, nearly, cheers. Very nice. Just over 2/3 of a glass of wine. 125 mils. There was 180 in there, that's why I've had a bit. Pop that in. Give it a stir. Turn the heat up to a medium heat, just to try and burn off a little of the alcohol. Okay? If you don't want to use the alcohol, don't put it in. Simple as that. But maybe add slightly more stock. Okay? Just going to mix that all in. Okay, so that's looking good now. Put the safety goggles on, I know. So, to that we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. So, nice dash of Worcestershire sauce. About half a teaspoon if you're kind of measuring it, but a nice dash. A couple of bay leaves, which we'll pop in at the end. 2 teaspoons of mixed dry herbs. Okay. There we go. A little bit left, that one, a little bit more. A tin of chopped tomatoes, use whatever brand you have available, but the best you can afford. If you can't afford much, then just use what you got. Okay. And 500 mils of beef stock. Just going to rinse that out a little bit. So we've got a couple of Knorr Stock cubes in here. There we go. And 500 mils of stock. Hopefully our pan is big enough. Yes, it is. So, it's going to mix this all in, let it all combine. Okay, pop in your bay leaves, bit of salt, season it to your own taste, bit of pepper, bury the bay leaves a bit. Now we're going to just turn this on to low and gently simmer it for about 20 minutes. It cooks the meat through and it just reduces that stock, which is what we want. So I'm going to put this to one side because whilst this is reducing, we want to make some little herby dumplings. Pop back in a second when I've moved everything out of the way and cleaned up. Okay, so I've transferred the pan back to over here so that we can do some more stuff here at the table. Get yourselves a bowl. We're going to use suet, beef or vegetarian options, whichever you want. Although let's be honest, you're making a minced beef dish, so I'd be using the beef one. 100 grams of suet. Pop that in there. 225 grams of self-raising flour. A little bit of seasoning. Salt mainly, to be honest. There we go. Mix up the flour and the suet slightly. Okay. Then you're going to get yourself some cold water. I'd say start with 100 mils. Okay, but it could go up to 150. maybe slightly more. But you want as little water as possible. So let's start with 100. And start mixing this together with a spoon. You want to make a dough. Now, depending on when this goes out, you may have already seen that I did a slow cooker recipe with dumplings the other week. And the dumplings were amazing in this. It's a slightly different version, so it'll be interesting to see how these come out. So, what we're doing, we're just mixing this together as a dough. Ideally, you need to keep pressing the sides of your bowl with your spoon so that that suet just starts softening up and just kind of combining with the flour, okay? Work on that for a while. So there's mine, but it's coming together, but it's still got some dry parts to it. So add a bit more water. Like I said, there are various ways of making dumplings. Personally, I like the one that I did recently on the slow cooker. One we did, but trying a different one today. I just want to show you all many different ways possible. So that's kind of coming together now. That's coming together, so it's just starting to clean the sides of the bowl. So what I'm going to transfer to my hand. I'm just going to mould this for a while. But not too much, because you don't want it to be heavy balls, okay? So there's my dumpling mix. Now we're going to make them parsley dumpling mix. So a small handful of parsley, so I've chopped up the best I can. Didn't use the stalks, use them for another thing. Just mix all this in, mix this parsley in, and then we're going to flour our work surface. Going to break this into about 12 pieces, so they're just little dumplings, and then we'll roll them into balls and get them ready for when this has reduced down enough. So get yourself a bit of flour. I suggest you get yourself a knife and just cut this into pieces. So cut it into once, twice, and then once, twice again. Make it into 12, okay? So like I said, you're just making small, well, not quite the size of a golf ball, okay? Like that. Make them into rounds. There we go. About that kind of size. It fits in the palm of your hand with plenty of room. Once you made these, we can wait for that stock just to reduce down a bit more, and then we'll pop them in and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so as you can see, this has now been reducing down. It's lost about probably a centimetre on the pan. It's still fairly liquid. I want it to be liquid because obviously we're going to put some of these lovely herby dumplings in. You don't want it to be a dry dish. So I'm going to pop these in carefully. Just sit them in wherever you can. And then we're going to pop a lid on and leave it for about another 20 minutes just to put dumplings through. They should expand a little bit too. Hopefully I can get more in here. Ooh, gently, he said John, and he dropped it in. That's a big one, that'll be worrying. There we go. So, oh, didn't fit the last one in. I'll pop him there. So, that's that. I'm going to pop a lid on, because the lid will kind of steam everything now as well. And we're done for now. Okay, and there we have it. Cook it for, I said, about another 20 minutes or so, maybe 25, but entirely up to you. Gentle simmer, turn it down slightly, and you've got yourself minced beef with dumplings. Served with mash, served with boiled potatoes, served with the rumbledy thumps, which I made on a video earlier, if you wish. Fantastic that's going to be. Going to be delicious. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. I'll take a photograph of it when it's complete and the dumplings have all puffed up. Hopefully. Different dumpling recipe than what I normally do. But please subscribe, please hit the notification bar, make comments. Do you like mince? What do you want me to do with it? Do you want me to show you a decent burger? I've got a really good keema curry recipe. Minced beef curry recipe, minced lamb recipe. What do you want me to do next? What would you like me to do next on Big OGGIE World? Don't say leave it all to Kelly, because that'll just, build up her ego a bit too much. I love doing what I'm doing, it's great fun. So, thanks so much for watching. Take a look at our shop, Big OGGIE Golf, on Amazon. It's got all our different foodie things on as well, because obviously we can't call it Big OGGIE World. I don't know why, but for some reason they only want the biggest channel we've got so far. Big OGGIE World may get bigger than that, I hope so. Hope so with all your help. I'm going to go, alright? It's horrible weather out, but enjoy your day as best you can. It's going to be a great dinner for tonight anyway. Bye everyone, speak soon.